All right, guys. So in this video, we are going to start setting up our development environment. What we're going to be using is essentially we're just going to be following along with all the steps for Mac OS X and manual environment setup. And we're just going to tweak it a little bit so that we do it for Ubuntu. So this is the one from learn.co. The reason why I'm pulling this up instead of trying to install everything myself is because um, we want to have as close to it as environment as we had on our Macs on this server. So we want to pretty much install the same stuff, even though some of the commands or the way that we install stuff might be just a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we are going to open up our terminal. Okay, and this is still asking me for my password. Oh, so let's log in one more time. All right, cool. So now we're logged in as our user into our terminal. And essentially what we want to do is we would like to, actually let me make this a little bit smaller. Yeah, it works. We want to pretty much follow along with all this stuff here. So there's a couple of the steps that we won't need to follow. For instance, we don't need Homebrew. We're on Ubuntu. We don't need the command line tools. What we do need is the like GCC compilers and all those C compiler things. So we're gonna Google real quick. Installing dev compilers Ubuntu. So these are the instructions, and we're pretty much just gonna follow these instructions along. So sudo apt install G++. It's asking us for our password. Wrong password. Typed too quick. So it's telling you that it's going to require 125 megs of additional memory. Sure. By the time we're done, we're probably installing like 2 gigs worth of software once we have Ruby, Node, and all this stuff. All right, so we're just going to follow along with these prompts. We actually probably should have ran this command instead of sudo apt install G++ because this also has build essential, which is probably a bunch of extra tools that we need for our environment. So we're going to run this command afterwards. Hopefully it just skips over this G++ that we're doing. So I'm going to pause this here until this finishes because this is probably going to take a while, and I'm going to be coming back and forth every time that we install a new package. Okay, so that package is done. So we're gonna now run this command here, which is what we should have done in the first place. So if you didn't rush in, you might have been able to catch that and just ran the second command instead of the first and then the second. So I'm pausing again, and then I'll jump back once this is done. Okay, awesome. That was pretty quick. We're going to come back over here. Essentially what we did was Ubuntu's version of command line tools for Mac. We just did it on Ubuntu. So that's what that was. The next step is going to be to set up Git. So to install Git, I actually know this one. So it's just sudo apt get install Git. And off it goes, 26 megs, hit yes. And this is going to take a while. So again, I'm going to pause and I'll come back once it's done. Okay, once that's done, we want to type in git dash v. That's not the right name. It's git dash dash v. There we go. All right, so git is installed. Perfect. So now we want to generate a SSH key. So what we do is we just type in SSH keygen. So enter file in which to save. Yep, this is where you want to save it. Hit enter. You could leave no passphrase, so just hit return. Enter same passphrase, return. All right, cool. So the SSH key has been made. Now you want to do cat this, and then it will display the SSH key in the terminal window. Okay, and then you want to display this SSH key is going to pop up from beginning to end, and we're going to paste it into our GitHub account. So you want to go to github.com. Okay, you want to log in, and then you want to go to your profile. Okay, and then you're going to hit, is this edit profile? No. Yeah, so edit profile. Then you go to SSH and GPG keys. You're going to click on that. Okay, and then you will be adding, let me delete this. You will be adding a new SSH key. All right, so here you call it whatever you want, VPS, my private server, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't matter. Just put something in there just so you know which computer has that access. Okay, and remember to get that SSH key, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to show my SSH key to the world. You essentially just run this command into your terminal here. Okay, and then once you run that, some stuff's going to come out. You're just going to copy that whole entire thing, and then you're going to add it right here. And it says it will begin with SSH, RSA, blah, 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 blah. As a matter of fact, let's do it, and I'm just going to generate another one just so we can go through the process. So we're going to run that command here. And here's our SSH key. So you're going to copy all this, and you're going to add it in here, and you're going to hit add SSH key. All right, so I'm going to pause this because I'm going to delete this and add a new SSH key. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, cool. So we are back. And now that we did that, what we want to do is we want to set up our email and our username with Git. So we're going to run these two commands here. So it's git config -- global user.email, and then you want to put your email in quotes. What am I doing here? Make sure you spell everything correctly. So git config -- global user.email, and then your email. Right now we're going to do the same thing, but instead of email, it's name. Now you could either put your full name or you could put your GitHub username. I like putting my GitHub username. All right, and now that's pretty much set up and good to go. We don't need to add this stuff. Brew install new PG. New PG. I think this is some sort of precision library to like do some funky math. We don't need that. So what we do want is RVM. We might not have curl installed, so we're going to try to run this command. Let's see if curl is installed. If not, we'll just install it. Not a big deal. So you're just going to copy and paste that. Bash curl command not found. Okay, cool. So curl isn't found, so we're going to do sudo apt get install curl. This should be fairly quick. Curl isn't anything crazy. So now we're just going to run that same command again. All right, so RVM is being installed. Let me pause this. Oh, that was quick enough. And now this is what takes forever. So we have to close and reopen the terminal so that we can, so that's loaded up into our bash profile. So we're going to do back into SSH into your VPS. And now we're going to do rvm install 2.333. This is the latest Ruby version that we use at Flatiron, even though we're at like 2.5. So we're going to use this old ass version of Ruby. And this is going to take a while. So I'm going to go make myself a coffee, make myself a sandwich. I'm going to go to the gym, come back, make dinner, eat dinner, shower, and then I'll return to this video once this is done. Let's see. So updating system, you want password required for app get quiet? Yes, update. So let's updating system. It's only required password required for app. Okay, so you got to type in your password here. And there it goes. All right, guys. I'll be back soon. Bye. Okay, that wasn't terrible. I'm back. I only made coffee and a sandwich. And okay, so now we installed Ruby 2.33, and now we want to type in this next command, which tells us to use that version of Ruby. Okay, and now let's see, Ruby-V, and now you can see Ruby 2.33 is on there. Cool. Now, if you want to install more versions of Ruby, you are more than welcome to. You could just type rvm install 2. Whatever. I think the latest one is 5.2, but we don't have to do that. Now we want to update our gem file. So you want to type in gem, update, -- system. And as you guys can see, we're pretty much just following this whole deal all the way through, which is what we did on the first day of class. So let me pause this, and then we're going to install Bundler when this is done. All right, cool. So as we can see, Ruby Gem System software updated. Awesome. So now we're going to do Bundler. This one shouldn't take too long. After this, set up the Learn gem, which we're not going to do because we're not going to be using Learn. We're not going to be doing labs on this VPS. So after that, we have get text editor, and then install some more gems. I don't think we need to install these gems if they are part of like Learn. Let's see here. Let me pause this and read this. I don't think we're going to be installing this though. Okay, so we're going to skip these and we're going straight down to the databases. So we want to sudo. Actually, let's find out what SQLite, how to install SQLite on Ubuntu. And let's see what that tells us. What the hell? Right for Linux hint. Okay, that's not what we want. Here we go. How to install Linux. How to install SQLite on Ubuntu. Okay. So this is the command we're going to run here. And let me pause this. Next we'll be installing Postgres. No need to pause. Let's see. So we're gonna type in apt-get install Postgres. Denied. Okay, so we're going to type in, we're going to do the same command, but we're going to type in sudo at the beginning. Okay, it's going to be 20 megs. Follow along. Okay, and then this is something that we want to do every single time the server updates. So, every time the server starts. So if for some reason your server shuts down, we want to have Postgres running in the background. So Rails always has access to it. Kind of like how we have the Postgres little elephant on top of our Mac terminal. That's the GUI version of this essentially, and it would just run Postgres every time that the server reboots. So we're gonna grab this and Control V, enter. Let's make sure there's no error messages. Okay, cool. And then service PostgreSQL start. This would just start the server. All right, so we had an issue with the install if we can't start Postgres. So I'm going to pause this here and see what the issue is, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there were a couple of issues, and we're going to run back and try to fix them. Bear with me. We're doing this on the fly. Let's see if it works. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to run this command as sudo, which is dpackage reconfigure locales. All right, so that we don't get that error, that Perl error message anymore. So when you run this, oh, I didn't do sudo, which I just said that we had to run it as sudo. So when this pops up, we're gonna have this, you're gonna scroll all the way down, and then you wanna find English, we wanna set it to our language. So it'll be EN US UTF-8-UTF-8, okay? So you select it with the space bar, okay, and then you hit enter. Okay, and then over here you want to use, again, select and English US.UTF-8, hit enter again. And that should take care of our Perl error messages, okay? And now we are going to try to run the Postgres install one more time. So we're going to type in sudo, and then we're going to copy and paste this stuff here. Okay. 0 upgraded. All right, and then this is where we failed before. We had an issue. Let's see. And we still have the issue. So do I need sudo at the front? Yes. And same thing here with sudo. Okay, and now to test, let's type in PSQL. Let's make sure that we connect to the server, no such file directory. You know what? Let's close out our SSH session, maybe because it hasn't been loaded into our bash profile. We can't fire it up. So let's load it back into our SSH session. And now we're going to do PSQL. Okay, and let me try to troubleshoot this now, since we do have Postgres installed, but for some reason the PSQL command isn't making it run. So let me pause this and try to troubleshoot again. Okay, so I found the issue, and I'm going to make a new video because it's going to be lengthy to have our Postgres set up. So for now, we should have pretty much everything else up and running, including Ruby and all its gems updated. So we're going to stop this here, and then we're going to come back, and we are going to work on getting Postgres up and running, since a lot of our projects use the Postgres database. So I'll upload this and get ready for video number 3 after this one. Cool, bye.